On the 2nd of November 1988, at around 8:30 p.m., a malicious program was unleashed on the internet from a computer located at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. Within just 24 hours, an estimated 6,000 computers that were connected to the internet had been hit and rendered useless. If you think 6,000 computers are nothing, then it's important to keep in mind that at the time, there were only approximately 60,000 computers connected to the internet. Hello, and welcome to Curiosity Factor. Today, we're bringing you the story of the first ever computer virus, the Morris worm. So, let's get started. Robert Tappan Morris, the creator of the Morris worm, was born on November 8, 1965, the son of Robert Morris Sr., who was a computer scientist at Bell Labs, helped design Multics and Unix, and later worked at the National Computer Security Center, which was a division of the NSA. Being raised by a computer scientist, it feels natural that Morris Jr. would develop an interest in computers too. He went to Harvard University, then later went on to graduate school at Cornell University. It was during his first year in graduate school that he designed what would be known today as the oldest computer worm. Why would Robert create a computer virus? Was he trying to point out the many safety concerns that people should take seriously on the internet? Did he do it to encourage people to use passwords in order to protect their computers? No. A friend of Robert Morris has said that he had created the worm simply to see if it could be done. Morris was known to be a prankster, and he was a clever one too. Remember how we mentioned earlier that he had attended graduate school at Cornell University? And remember how we said that the Morris worm was released from a computer located in MIT? That was one way for Robert to hide his tracks. Although Morris stated that his intention was not to create an actively destructive worm, but rather to highlight the vulnerabilities prevalent in many networks at the time, an unintended consequence of Morris's coding led to the worm causing more damage and spreading more widely than originally anticipated. Initially, Morris programmed the worm to examine each computer to determine if it was already infected, but he was concerned that some system administrators might thwart this by instructing the computer to report a false positive. As a result, he modified the worm to replicate itself 14% of the time, regardless of the computer's infection status. This led to the possibility of a computer becoming infected multiple times, with each additional infection progressively slowing down the machine until it became unusable. The worm did not damage or destroy files, but it still packed a punch. Vital military and university functions slowed to a crawl. Emails were delayed for days. The network community laboured to figure out how the worm worked and how to remove it. Some institutions wiped their systems. Others disconnected their computers from the network for as long as a week. The exact damages were difficult to quantify, but estimates started at $100,000 and soared into the millions. Among the casualties of the worm were Berkeley, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, Johns Hopkins, NASA, and the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory. As computer experts worked day and night to fix the problem, the question of who did it became more urgent. Morris had reached out to two of his friends, explaining to them what had happened, and even asking one of them to relay an anonymous message across the internet on his behalf, with a brief apology and guidance on how to remove the worm. Ironically, few received the message in time because the network had been so damaged by the worm. The other friend, however, made an anonymous call to the New York Times, which would soon splash news of the attack across its front pages. The friend told a reporter that he knew who built the program, saying it was meant as a harmless experiment and that its spread was the result of a programming error. In follow-up conversations with the reporter, the friend inadvertently referred to the worm's author by his initials, RTM. Using that information, the Times soon confirmed and publicly reported that the culprit was a 23-year-old Cornell University graduate student named Robert Tappan Morris. After the incident became public, the FBI launched an investigation. Agents quickly confirmed that Morris was behind the attack and began interviewing him and his associates and decrypting his computer files, which yielded plenty of incriminating evidence. But had Morris broken federal law? Turns out he had. In 1986, Congress had passed the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, outlawing unauthorized access to protected computers. Prosecutors indicted Morris in 1989. The following year, a jury found him guilty, making him the first person convicted under the 1986 law. Morris, however, was spared jail time, instead receiving a fine, probation, and an order to complete 400 hours of community service. Nowadays, given the level of protection our computers come already equipped with, and the options we have to further protect them from viruses, the Morris worm wouldn't affect us at all. But back then, it caused a whole country to despair. Have you ever had to deal with a computer virus? Did you know about the Morris worm before watching this video? Let us know in the comments section below. And if you want to learn more interesting facts and histories, make sure to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again in our next video.